This is Prime Crime Network. In Harlem, we have two teens going to get a bite to eat, and they happen to run into a senior citizen who was having a bad day.
Two young men, a 22-year-old and 17-year-old, walk into K Street Food on 2nd Ave just after 6 Friday night, along with another man they bump into at the door.
Two young guys came in here. He already upset, very upset.
So from what we're gathering, a guy was already in the restaurant, already upset making his orders when these two teens happened to come into the restaurant, stand behind him, and get to laughing and joking. And presumably, they was cracking jokes on this guy. He turns around, tells them, "Hey, you're pissing me off." They get into an altercation. It spills outside, and this is where it turns deadly.
Moon Shin owns K Street Foods. She says the man the two young men bumped into was placing a food order while the two young men stood behind, making comments.
Oh, and I could tell you right now how this went. When he turned around and was like, "Hey, you pissing me off," that was all it took. Those young guys grabbed him probably, and they went to getting into it, and he went to feeling the strength and the force of those young men, and he pulled out his weapon and he went to doing what he did. In that moment, if you've never been jumped on by two teens, let me tell you, especially if it's two crazy teens, you're going to do whatever it is you can do to save your life. I'm not condoning anything this man did, but I just happen to know when you're in a fight for your life, you're going to do whatever it is to save it.
Two young guys pushing
Everyone here, there.
What started in the restaurant spilled out onto the sidewalk. We're pausing right here when that man, who police identify as 62-year-old Saul Sanchez, is seen stabbing the 17-year-old in the torso. The teen's 22-year-old friend, who police said was stabbed in the left arm, came to his defense, throwing a chair at Sanchez.
And I'm willing to bet you anything you want to bet. They thought that they were going to attack this gentleman, and it was going to be just that. We just beat his old ass and it's over with. But you're right, it's over with. But not the way that you expected it to be. And the other gentleman, he don't know, he might be facing charges if they attack this senior citizen first.
I never see people dying in front of my face. Police say that
17-year-old, who was identified as Carlos Rivas, was taken to Harlem Hospital, where he later died. 62-year-old Sanchez, who police say was cut in the forehead, left after the fight, then returned to the scene, spoke to cops, and was taken into custody. Sanchez was later charged with second-degree murder and assault and fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon.
So it's definitely no winners in this one. You got a teen who lost his life. You got a senior citizen who's possibly losing his life. But he might get out on self-defense. Because from what I'm hearing, they attacked him first. And if it's like that, the 22-year-old may be facing murder charges. Let's see what the community have to say about this.
It's just really unfortunate. Robert Tarleton, a 38-year-old lifelong Harlem resident, shared his thoughts on the recent stabbing incident Friday night that claimed the life of 17-year-old Carlos Rivas and left two others injured near East 108th Street and 2nd Avenue. The loss of a life of anyone is never really a good thing. It's always a sad thing to hear. Rivas had been stabbed in the chest and abdomen. A 22-year-old was stabbed in the left arm, and a 62-year-old had a cut on his forehead, according to police. The two men were taken to nearby hospitals and are in stable condition, but sadly, Rivas was rushed to the hospital but did not survive. Local businesses along the street, including K Street Food, have provided their surveillance footage to police, though they have chosen not to make public statements about the incident. Neighbors in the area suggest the stabbing incident may have been motivated by personal conflict.
That's a personal thing to me, because with a shooting, you know, you just press it. With a stabbing, you have to have rage and thought and be up close and personal.
That's why Tarleton and others in the community are emphasizing the importance of community involvement.
I just think it really goes back to like community, you know, us really being on one accord as a community and holding everybody accountable.
That's devastating. It's like every time you hearing something new, it's becoming like a dystopian society in a sense. It's tragic, and for the young teenager to lose his life, he hasn't even started anything as of yet.
And as they reflect on the broader implications, Tarleton offers words of comfort to the grieving family.
All my condolences to the family. And I'm wishing them well, and I know that God loves them and that God is going to continue to cover them through this difficult time.
Thank you for watching Prime Crime Network, your source for urban and suburban and around the world news. Hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell. And check us out on primecrimenetwork.com.